North Korea has regained its access to the internet after losing it for nearly 9 hours. Speculation is now mounting that Washington might have played a role. I'm Ramy Inocencio for the Wall Street Journal Digital Network. Jonathan Cheng joins us from Seoul with the latest. Now, Jonathan, what are you seeing on North Korea's access again to the internet, and what kind of websites can we see?
Well, as you know, North Korea doesn't have a very big internet. It's not quite the same sort of thing that we have in the rest of the world. It's really just state-run propaganda websites of different varieties. There's a news agency, KCNA. There's their daily newspaper, Rodong Sinmun. There are a couple other propaganda websites. And some of them are hosted in Japan. Some of them are hosted on servers in China. Those were unaffected today. The ones that were affected today were the ones that were domestically domiciled in North Korea, and they have a .kp suffix. And those websites went down for about 9 hours today, but from what we can see, they're back and reconnected with the rest of the world.
All right. Now, when I first heard of this outage early Monday morning, I thought, North Korea doesn't have a lot of people actually having access to the internet. So who really is affected in the country?
Well, first of all, you're right. There aren't normal people able to get on. There aren't internet cafes. People don't generally have internet access at home. But there are elite universities. Of course, we've learned in the wake of the Sony Pictures hacking a lot about North Korean hacking capabilities. Actually, much of this was already quite well known here in South Korea, which has been the target of attacks over the past few years. But essentially what we're seeing is that it's unclear how much of it is affecting people inside North Korea. It's more that the websites, the propaganda websites that the state has, couldn't be accessed outside the country. And again, that only applied to the ones that were hosted on North Korean soil as opposed to in Japan or in China with sympathetic parties.
Right. Now, the timing is just a little bit suspect looking at the past week. Washington has alleged that Pyongyang actually hacked Sony Pictures earlier, and there may be some possibility, or some critics at least, that are saying that Washington did have a role. What do you think about that?
Well, of course, we know that this is one of the murkiest questions. We still don't know for sure whether North Korea was behind the Sony hacking. Of course, the FBI in the U.S. says that it was, but there are plenty of skeptics out there. There are also plenty of third-party actors here that could be involved. It doesn't have to be a national government. And in any case, it could be a combination of the two. It could be any number of things, and I suspect that we won't have a firm consensus on this any sooner than we'll have a firm consensus on the Sony hacking either. And I think basically that just goes to show when you're dealing with North Korea, when you're dealing with hacking, when you're dealing with all of these things, you're looking for clear answers. You're in the wrong business, I think.
Yeah, that's very true. And it could be just as simple as a technical glitch. Of course, we don't know, but from what I understand from your own article is that there is only one single connection between North Korea and to the outside world, and that does run through China, China's telecoms company, China Unicom. All right, I'll leave it at that. Seoul reporter Jonathan Cheng with the latest on North Korea's internet access, coming back after less than a day.